Welcome to Toffee TV. Here is my three talking points. Everton 2, Fulham 0 at Hill Dickinson Stadium today. Big win for Everton, good win for Everton as well. Fully deserved. They were the dominant team. And a lovely 2-0 home victory. Could have been a lot more. Obviously 3 goals disallowed. And we've played brilliantly in all fairness overall. And I think it'd be exactly what the manager was looking for. Obviously 4 points this week. The points at Sunderland has got better as the week went on, as I suggested. It didn't feel like that on Monday at half time, and we were 1 up and it should have been 3. And at the end, when you're thinking we could have lost it, but also I understood people's frustration and disappointment. But when you're putting 4 points in a week on the board, it really strengthens everything you're trying to do. And I think we've shown again at Hill Dickinson that we can, the ground can be used to our advantage. And at home, we're doing all right. Our 3rd home victory, and 3 wins, 2 draws, and a defeat in 6 games since we moved. So things ticking along quite nicely at home, and 5 or 6 more of those kind of routine wins at home will be lovely this season. That is for sure. I want to begin with the crowd. Now, I thought they were very good today. I really did. I thought the home crowd were very good. There was a worry, I think, with leaving Goodison Park by a lot of people, of course. It was our home. It's all of us had ever known when we go to a match. Sat with people we've known for years, the routines, everything, the pricing, where to park, how to disperse from the game, all of that. We knew everything about it. And for some people, there was a fear of not settling in, which might cost us results and things like that. The reality is Everton haven't been great at home for the last few seasons. And so that wasn't really the worry, the advantage of Goodison, if you like, wasn't really a fear of mine moving at all, because I don't think Goodison wasn't what it was in terms of where we'd get so many points there and all that on a regular basis, if you know what I mean. Still at the opportunity in certain one-off games to be electrifying and really be the difference, but it wasn't like that all the time near the end. So that wasn't really a worry of mine. But obviously, trying to make the place loud, moving to Hill Dickinson, what would it be like? And I think against Brighton, my fears were sort of allayed because, and I know it was the first game, the first Premier League game there rather, and it was a big occasion. Jack Grealish and people like that making the debuts, and we won the game, and it was an amazing day, Brighton. And obviously the noise, and then it being recorded as the highest ever in the Premier League, the noise level and everything else. And that all felt good. And obviously then we had the win at Wolves and everyone was bouncing. Villa, first Saturday, 3 o'clock, was okay at times. It wasn't amazing, but it was still loud when we got going. But it just dissipated a little bit. Still at the moments, like against Crystal Palace when we scored, and then when we scored at the end, and there was a couple of bits in it where there was a tackle, 50-50 tackle, and Alcaraz steams in and Garner, and the crowd are up, which was almost a trigger point at Goodison. If there was a crunching tackle or we were wronged, that took the level up. But then, West Ham, just before that was a night game, and it was quiet until we scored, and then quiet after. And then Tottenham was a real damp squib. It was dark and cold and miserable and raining, and we got beat, and it was quiet. And I think people started to think, this is sort of going one way, the atmosphere, it's not going the other way. Now, we all know wins change everything, goals and things like that, but we do have to do our bit. We have to do our bit. I had Dave Feely on the show on Thursday with me on the live, and he's talking about the away, when you go away. And I remember Fulham last season when we went near the end, and we went behind, and Jimenez scored early on, we went behind, and the fans never stopped singing. When you were getting beat 1-0, they never stopped. When he's saying it's like being like that away this season, regardless of the scoreline, the crowd are still bouncing, they're still trying to support the team, whatever. And that hadn't really been portrayed at Hill Dickinson. I think this isn't just an Everton thing. A lot of home crowds are like this. But it was, can we bring some of that? Well, today, the crowd did. Thought the crowd were brilliant today. Not for 90 minutes, but I don't think you get that. But moments where it just felt a little dip, the crowd were back on it. And obviously the team responded. The team were brilliant. They started really, really well, and everybody responded to that. But I thought the crowd were brilliant, and that made a big difference. And the referee helped. The referee, special mention to Andy Madley, because he was terrible today. Absolutely terrible. Giving imaginary free kicks to Fulham. Refusing to send players off when they deserve it. Seeing things that no one else saw. Couldn't wait to disallow goals and everything. Well, to be fair, he's instructor, but you know what I mean. He was just generally rubbish today, the referee. And some of his decisions did help with get the crowd off the feet and get the crowd going as well. But I thought the crowd were brilliant, and we got our rewards for it. So more of that, please. More of that singing, whatever, getting everything going, making it loud, energising the team again. And I think the team responded. And there'll be times when we respond to the team. Today was a time when the team responded to the crowd as well. It's a relationship where we have to stick together. By sticking together, my opinion, we'll get much more results. So brilliant today, everyone who's got a throat like mine, and probably much worse than mine as well. So fantastic. The second thing I want to talk about is James Garner, who is probably up there with being Everton's best player this season. There's a lot of plaudits for Jack Grealish, and rightly so. Iliman and Jai, a lot of plaudits for him, and more rightly so in some respects. We know, Grealish is an outstanding footballer, and Jai has seemed to have gone up another level, even though he's been shoved out on the other wing. Still dips out of games at times, but some of his ability is fantastic. But I think James Garner has been brilliant all season. He's been moved around, left back, right back, centre mid. And he started the game at right back, which for me was 100% the right decision from the manager. He got that spot on, David Moyes. He's had a little bit of criticism. He got that nailed on. And Garner was excellent today. He showed what having a more forward thinking and a good footballer is on that right hand side. Jake O'Brien has done a really good job for Everton as almost like a stopgap. He's a centre back, and he's 6.5 foot. Asking him to run up and down. He's not a player who's gonna beat a man and whip crosses in. He hasn't got that sort of ability, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's a defender. He's got a good turn of pace. He's powerful. He's a good defender, and that's fine. We need more, particularly at home. And I think James Garner just went out there and done his job today and put a couple of great crosses in. There was a ball he put in towards Beto right at the end that Anderson just sticks a foot out and deflects it wide. It's a hell of a ball. Just whipping it right across, seeing the pass early. I just thought he deserves a special mention. I think he's been great. Now, does the manager just leave him at right back? I don't know, is the answer. I think at home, I will play him at right back, but I don't know if this is too much messing with the team, putting him in midfield one game and then full back the next. But I think at Hill Dickinson, when we want to be on the front foot, I think until we buy an attacking right back, it's got to be James Garner there. Defensively, away from home, if you're trying to dig in a little bit, it might be Jake O'Brien. And again, that might not be a great way of going about things, but we might have to piece it for now. But I just thought he was excellent today, James Garner, and I think he deserves a special mention because he's been really, really good all season. Ability to pick a pass, ability to knock one down the lines, calm on the ball. And I thought he had an excellent game, went out there to right back and had an excellent game today. So well done, him. And my final talking point today is Thierno Barry. The striker situation, we're all banging our heads against the wall. It feels like this season with that. And I said I was critical of the manager's decision the other night to take him off so early. He missed a chance. So what? They all miss chances. Strikers miss chances. It was a glorious chance. So what? That happens. He hasn't scored a goal. He's been playing in bits, getting minutes here and there. That's it. And he misses a chance. So to take him off, I thought was a poor decision the other night, as early as he did. Not saying he should have stayed on for 90 minutes, but it was a poor decision. But then again, what I'm saying now is today was absolutely the right decision by David Moyes to start him. And he responded really well. He's flashed the header just wide. He scored a goal that Njai's offside for. He's linked the play well. He's up against a physical player in Calvin Bassey. Thought he tried to give as good as he got. Feels like he's starting to get used a little bit to the physical side of it. He's a big lad, but he's a slight lad. He's got to get a little bit stronger, learn to use his body a little bit more in the Premier League. But I thought his touch is good. His one-touch layoffs, spinning in behind. Some of his flicks are clever. He just needs a little bit of variation with his heading. He wins headers. Sometimes it's not the little subtle flick-ons that he needs, but I thought he was willing today. I thought he did really well. He worked hard. And again, today, it was absolutely the right decision by David Moyes to substitute him when he did. He was knackered. And I know he shook his head and he would have wanted to stay on, and he's probably had the feeling that he's going to score today and he's had the ball in the net and the time's building and he hasn't got to scoring a goal yet. And that'll be weighing on him heavily because he'll want to get off the mark. But if he keeps doing what he's done the last 2 games, particularly more, I think today was his best performance in an Everton shirt. I thought Brighton, day one, he was good and he was involved in both goals, link-up play. And even though there's been little bits and pieces in between, I thought today was his best performance, and that's 2 starts on the run. And now, okay, we might go to Old Trafford and the manager might go back to Beto. I don't know why you would right now, because I'd be playing Barry. I'd start Barry the next 4 games. I said this before Sunderland, he'd be given half a dozen games as the starter now and see if he can come up with a goal and see if he can settle himself down. But he did really well today. He did. And I liked a lot of what I saw. He just looked like a better side. And then that means Beto can come on and be the battering ram, can knock people about, get the bit between his teeth and be a nuisance for 20 minutes at the end of the game when they may be tiring a little bit. He comes on and, we stretched them a couple of times as well. And that's exactly what he should be doing. But I just thought it was good management today to keep him in, good management to leave him on for as long as he did. And that'll be determined by what Barry did and the way Barry played. I think that's a clear indication from the manager that he was appreciative of what Thierno Barry was doing today for the team. Done really well. If he keeps doing that and keeps getting in them areas, he'll score goals. He scored one today. It wasn't him who was offside, it was Njai. But he was in the right place to knock it in. The other night he was in the right place and he's put it over. Hopefully at Old Trafford he'll be in the right place and it'll count and he'll be up and running, because we want him scoring goals, don't we? We want Beto coming on, affecting it and getting goals. But I just thought much, much better today, and we did look like a better side. So it's important that we get behind him. The crowd were brilliant with him as well today. He got sort of like a standing ovation when he went off, and I think Idrissa ran over to him because he was disappointed, but I think Idrissa has gone over and probably praised them and said, give the fans a clap, show your appreciation to them, they are to you. And he did. He turned around, clapped everyone, and the crowd went up again for him, and he's got to get that relationship and a bit of trust. But I thought the fans were brilliant with him, encouraged them today, clapped them when he done good stuff, worked hard for the team, and that, I think if he does that and we all get behind him, he'll settle a bit better. Still probably need another striker in January as well to throw into the mix, but I thought he had a good game today, and I'm delighted. I wish he'd have scored. I really do. I wish his goal would have been allowed, but he was in the right place at the right time. So he's got to keep it going now. He sort of set himself the standard today. He's got to do that and better moving forward. But it was a much better display from him today, and it resulted in a much better team performance. So yeah, there you go. I'm pleased for him. I'm obviously delighted we've won the game. Right, make sure you check out the match reaction, check out the other match stuff as well. Just enjoy your weekend. The Toffees are 3 points off the Champions League place at the moment. We've had a good win at home, a clean sheet, 4 points this week, and we go into that international break. We don't play for 16 days now, so for 16 days we're the greatest club ever, the best team ever. So enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. See you later.